Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! If this is a dream, it's one that I certainly hope that I never wake up from, because I got to meet all of you in it, and I got to talk about Descendants and Zombies, which is something I love dearly. It's forever and always held a special place in my heart, and I have to say thank you to each and every one of you who have shown an incredible amount of outpouring of love and support to this YouTube channel, because if not for you, this YouTube channel would not be here. I know I would not be here, and this show would not exist. So thank you so much from my heart to yours for having made this YouTube channel such a profound success. Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart. This has been a trend, this has been an incredible decade that will last the test of time and will forever exist in our hearts, forever holding a special place in it for how much of an inspiration these stars and this franchise has been to all of us, and how much it's meant to us, how much of an inspiration we have taken away from Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires, one of the best plots I think a zombies movie has ever detailed, of how Zed and Addison eventually ended up together after Zed thought he was going to zombie out, how Victor and Nova had seen each other in the same dream after sharing the same dream for months and months before they found each other in New Zealand. It was a beautiful movie, and I loved it so much, and I remember the night of its premiere, I was so excited about it. Now, like many people who sat in front of their plasma TVs because they're monetized with their computer chairs and had a piece of paper and a pen and wrote down jot notes about Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires, about what they liked and what they didn't like, do you think I did that? No, I didn't do that, because I wanted to speak from my heart about Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires, and that's what I've done ever since I saw the premiere. And since its premiere, I've watched it over 100 times. So if there's one guy who knows what's up when it comes to Descendants and Zombies, it's this guy right here. So if you're looking for a review of Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires, look no further than your voice of Descendants and Zombies, Jonathan Clarke. Because I can tell you, it was a huge honor of mine to be able to sit in front of my TV without a piece of paper and a pen and not take jot notes about Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires, because I found that quite boring. Because I've done that so many times over the years, being a journalist for whatever I was covering for whatever specific reason. And, you know, reading off of a piece of paper, I mean, I could come on here with a piece of paper after taking some notes and say, this is what I liked about Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires. This is what never really added up about Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires. What's the point of that? It was a beautiful movie. It was a 5-star production. The music got better. The music was the best out of any Zombies movie I've ever seen, because you think about the music from Zombies 1, 2, and 3, there was probably just one song off the soundtrack that stood out to you. For Zombies, it was Someday. For Zombies 2, it was We Own the Night. For Zombies 3, it was something else. And for Zombies 4, it was songs like Place to Be and Don't Mess With Us, which really brought this one home for Zombies, presenting a real Hannah Montana camp rock kind of vibe. And I think that these franchises will forever and always hold a special place in our hearts because of the music. Now, obviously, the music in Descendants is way better than Zombies. I will admit that to you. But I think that Zombies is a beautiful script in its own right for its powerful message of acceptance and how a girl and a zombie can have a chance of falling in love. I mean, who out there didn't run away with the idea that a girl could actually fall in love with a zombie and humans and zombies could coexist in the same world? I mean, that's what it was still in their minds. It was really a dream, and I think that it was a beautiful opportunity for us to really fall in love with the franchise all over again, just as we did many years ago with Hannah Montana and High School Musical. This is coming from a guy who was a part of the Disney Channel revolution when Disney moved out of traditional animation into live-action TV shows and movies, and I had a greater appreciation for shows like Hannah Montana, Sweet Life, Wizards of Waverly Place, and I loved it so much because it was a very different time for Disney. So after those shows said goodbye, I was wondering how Disney was really going to bounce the ball in their court. And they continue to do it with Descendants and Zombies. And I'm hoping that these two franchises are going to last for forever. So if you'll do me the honor of allowing me to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies for just a little while longer, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that these franchises live eternally in all of our hearts. Long after the cast pass the torch to this next cast, and the cast after that, and the cast after that, and the times after that, and the times after that, and however many times they change, all I've ever wanted to do is secure the futures and the legacies of these two franchises that I know forever and always will hold a special place in your heart. So if you would do me the honor of hitting my subscribe button, it would be an honor of mine to have you here as a subscriber, and I promise you I will never go away, and I will never let you down, like many of these other YouTube channels have done with their Descendants and Zombies content. Now, I know I come on here and I say a lot of crazy things about how I lived across the road from a vampire, how I thought my girlfriend time and time again was a vampire, because it really was what was happening to me. I ended up in a lot of crazy situations. So I'm not going to come on here and tell you a bunch of lies about how this never happened to me and this never happened to me, because it did. And I'm just speaking from experience, because really, this kind of stuff can happen to a person. I mean, do you think I'm lying about living across the road from a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could explode? Because I really do. Literally 5 minutes up the road, there's a soda plantation and a chemical plant 5 minutes away from me that could explode. And I just wanted to live the whole zombies experience here for you guys, because a lot of people on YouTube who create these videos don't do that. And I will tell you the truth, I really did love Meg Donnelly. I thought she was a beautiful actress who was never given the benefit of the doubt. More credit deserved than so for Meg Donnelly, because she really brought this franchise to life. She was so full of excitement, exuberance, and she felt as if it was an honor to portray the character Addison in Zombies. That was the thing about Meg Donnelly. You could have given this role to anybody who probably was a better actress than what Meg Donnelly ever could have been. But the thing, because it's happened to Meg. I mean, Meg auditioned for the role of Supergirl in the new live-action Superman movie, which was horrible without Meg Donnelly. And for the significance of Supergirl in that movie having a 30-second cameo, I don't think Meg Donnelly has much to be depressed over it, but she was really upset over it because she wanted the role of Supergirl. The thing is, you could have gave this role of Addison to anybody, and they wouldn't have done as fabulous of a job as what Meg Donnelly did, because she came off to me and millions of others as a huge inspiration. I mean, I've watched so many audition tapes of Meg Donnelly and thought this girl really had it and was really going to go places. You could have given this role to anybody, but could they have got the job done as effectively and as powerfully as what Meg Donnelly has done? No, I don't necessarily think so. I think Meg Donnelly's in the best shape of her life. She's in a position to take over, and sitting behind the camera now for Zombies will allow her to exemplify a lot of creative energy towards a new cast of Zombies, and really creative direction from Mila Manheim should really help this franchise out, which makes us even more excited, or at least should, for Zombies 5. Whatever the title is, right now it's Zombies 5. People are suggesting, with Zed no longer being the lead, they should change the title of the show from, I don't know, Zombies 4 Down in the Vampires to Zombies 5 Down in the Vampires 2. I would go for anything at this point. But right now, I think what the biggest question on everybody's mind is just what's inside of that vortex. You know, when I saw the vortex heading towards the shore, I was like all of you, what is this thing? You know, what is inside of it? And we've got to wait 3 years to find out. So people are already making predictions of mermaids, sirens, witches, and whatever the hell else could be inside of it, we don't know. But I'm really excited to find out, because it's going to open up the door for new storylines to be created, new worlds to be explored, and we could possibly be seeing some under-the-sea stuff and CGI thrown in there too, because you can't have under-the-water excursions with CGI thrown in for a franchise like Zombies. So much magic is on the way for the Zombies franchise, and ever more of a reason to be excited about the love story between Victor and Nova now being exemplified by Zombies 5. More detail coming your way on that. I think that this is going to be a fun story for everybody, because we've never seen mermaids see their introduction into the Zombies franchise before. While it may have been thought about, it's never happened before, which makes it an exciting time for fans of this franchise who are just being introduced to the original Zombies movies. This is a guy who's watched all of them, and I've never seen so many supernatural creatures be suggested or introduced into the franchise at the same time. Back when it was a trilogy, Zombies 1 through 3, every movie would see a new supernatural creature, and it was the obvious choices, from zombies to werewolves to aliens, which was very different by Zombies 3 when Addison discovered her origin as being an alien, and then of course Zed tried to help her cope with that. I really appreciate how Meg Donnelly was always there to portray a different supernatural creature every single time. The origins of werewolves by Zombies 2, and by Zombies 3 she thought she was an alien. So it was really cool seeing her the embodiment of all these different characters, because a lot of people would consider it to be a very precious kind of time in their life when they would have to embody all these different characters. But Meg Donnelly was all there for it. You know, I don't know how I would have felt about it being Meg Donnelly's boyfriend on set of Zombies and seeing her make all these transitions from one character to another. But it was really cool, and the music really added up in this. And I think the music ultimately got better by Zombies 4 Down in the Vampires. Although, what really upset me about Zombies 4 Down in the Vampires music videos were so many people were criticizing them when they really had no business criticizing it, because it was a beautiful story, and it had such powerful music. So how can you go wrong with a beautiful story and powerful music? Because sometimes when the emotions are too high to express your feelings, you have music to get the job done for you. Because the thing about music is music heals you. And music has healed me so many times over the years when I couldn't make sense of my own life, what direction I was headed in. Kind of like how you guys, being fans of Descendants of Zombies, have helped me make sense of everything in my own life, which I am incredibly grateful for. Because without you guys, I have no fans, I have no audience, and these videos have no purpose. I can only hope that someone is going to find this video, going to click on my thumbnail, going to watch it from beginning to end, and going to eventually hit my subscribe button. By the way, I would love for you to be a part of this channel. This is an incredible journey that you girls had me on. From the very first Zombies movie, I was hooked. I was in a very difficult place in my life. I didn't know where I was headed, what direction my life was headed in, and then Zombies happens. And I see this opening dance number called This Is Going to Be My Year. Here comes Addison wanting to be a cheerleader, Zed wanting to try out for football, and they headed off in a town where zombies and humans were thought of at the time could never coexist, could never get along, or could never have a friendship and never fall in love. And all those analogies were proven inaccurate and wrong and true, ever more true when they did fall in love. So you kind of almost ran away from the movie thinking that, hey, maybe this could happen to me. Maybe I'll go to high school one day and fall in love with a zombie, and who knows what's going to happen from there on out. I think their dreams were stilled in their minds, although I wouldn't recommend that you do date a zombie or a vampire or a werewolf or an alien or any other supernatural creature, because it's very difficult to do that. I myself have tried it. It's not easy. My life never gets easy. But thankfully I got all of you to talk to me about it, and I can create these funny videos about Descendants of Zombies, because one can never be too prepared. Because apparently there are reports suggesting that there is actually an alien spacecraft on the way to Earth to kill us all in the next 110 days. And I just want you guys to know that I love you so much. That's why I sit behind this podcast microphone and talk about Descendants of Zombies for you as much as I do, and as often as I do, because you never know how much time you have left in this lifetime. I really appreciated how the torch was passed in Zombies 4: Dawn of the Vampires. It was a moment of significance when we saw the torch pass from Mila Manheim and Meg Donnelly's characters to Freya Skye and Malachi Burton. Because from what I can tell, we have a lot of fans out there in support, coming out in unison to support Freya Skye and Malachi Burton. I do agree with all of you. They do look really cute together. And I think this is the making for a very beautiful new franchise, a new spin-off series, if you would, for the Zombies franchise. And I only saw a live-action movie series, but also got a reanimated TV series where the voices of the characters were done by Meg Donnelly and Mila Manheim. So because it's one thing, I say this series is really cool because it's one thing to have a live-action movie series, but to have a reanimated series of yourself where you're doing the voices of your own respective characters, that tells you made it. That tells you made it to the big time. And I remember when they did perform that dance number for Someday, for the very first Zombies movie, and they hugged each other and they said they did it. At that moment in time, they knew they had made it to the big time. But I think an even bigger moment, a more moment of significance when they realized they had done it and really made it to the big time, was when they recorded the reanimated series during the pandemic. Because at that moment, when you know you're the voice of your own character, that you've inspired for so many years, you know you've made it. The same thing can be said about when you open up your doll for Descendants or you open up your action figure for Zombies. You know you've made it when your legendary character is solidified through the power of an action figure. I've seen so many people have that honor bestowed upon them. I myself have never had an action figure or a doll, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't go for it. Zombies and Descendants has opened up the door of opportunity for so many people, and what's really interesting about it is that they've stayed with the Zombies franchise for forever. They've stayed with Descendants and Zombies for forever. While Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson may have said goodbye, there's the door, don't let it hit you on the way out, they have stayed with it for forever because they know they're in the position they're in to take over because of Zombies and Descendants, and they know what kind of an opportunity was presented to them. They get the opportunity to sing, they get the opportunity to dance, they get the opportunity to inspire, they get the opportunity to meet all of you, and they take full advantage of it. And I can say from personal experience, I would love the opportunity to be a part of these franchises. I was a writer-producer, and even if I was the writer-producer and I had nothing to do with the acting, I would definitely take myself up on the opportunity to meet all of you and to talk to all of you about the Descendants and Zombies franchise. Let me put it out to you like this. If Descendants and Zombies discovers and sees these videos, and Jonathan Clarke makes it to the big time as a writer and producer, I will still come from behind the camera to talk to all of you for the PR for Zombies and Descendants, because I know how much this franchise has meant to each and every one of you, and how much it's held a special place in my heart for what feels like forever. I don't think you guys deserve to be left in the dark about your questions having been unanswered about Descendants and Zombies for far long enough. I'm just here to help you make sense of it all and to answer your questions about Descendants and Zombies. How I feel the franchise will happen because I'm older and I know pretty much what's going to happen. We're going to see this continue for forever. So for those of you who may believe that this franchise is going to see its dramatic conclusion, like the Kingdom Hearts series years ago when it was a video game series that was so revered, and I almost cried when the final Kingdom Hearts happened. This is never going to happen for Zombies and Descendants, because I'm going to tell you why. Because if I had to sit behind this podcast microphone and talk about Descendants and Zombies for the rest of my life, which I'm sure many of you would have no problem with me doing, I will do just that, because I'm incredibly proud to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies, while other people sit behind their podcast microphones and talk about it in such a negative way. I refuse to do that, because you deserve to hear nothing but the best when it comes to Descendants and Zombies. If you are a fan of Descendants and Zombies, you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies because you appreciate it. You see the value in it. You see what's excited to be about for Zombies and Descendants. You don't tear down the credibility of these stars or the franchise. You're there, you show up, and you love it so much. You sing your favorite Descendants and Zombies songs. You're out of support for your favorite Descendants and Zombies stars. And you go on YouTube every night and you see people tearing down their credibility. This should have never happened. This happened for this reason. This is why that happened. This is why this should have never happened. I don't want to do that for you. I've never sat in front of a TV with a piece of paper and a pencil and wrote down my notes and thoughts on Descendants and Zombies. I have never ever done it. From the very first Descendants movie I saw all the way back in 2015, I was 25 at the time. I have never sat down in front of my TV or my plasma TV because I'm monetized. Oh my God. And my game chair and reviewed Descendants and Zombies. I sit in front of my TV like all of you with a bowl of popcorn. Come to think of it, I don't even think I've done that. I just sit in front of my TV and say, ooh, nah, yes, oh no, ah! And just come on here and tell you how I feel about Descendants of Zombies because it looks so cool. You know, from the first moment I saw the trailer for Zombies, I was like, man, this looks really cool. I mean, these stars know what's up. Who is this Meg Donnelly chick? Got to find out more about her. And that night I must have spent like, I don't know, 3 hours online looking up her favorite soda, her favorite color. I want to know everything about her because I had the biggest crush in the world on Meg Donnelly, and I've never ever lied to you about that. I've wanted to know who Meg Donnelly is from the very first moment I laid eyes on her because I respected her so much. And I just wanted to create fun videos for you. I know it's really weird that a guy on YouTube always talks about Descendants of Zombies and pours his heart into the Descendants of Zombies universe, but I do it because I'm just as big of a fan of it as you, each and every one of you are. And I know how much it means to each and every one of you to talk about Descendants of Zombies with your friends. I think some of those beautiful friendships have been created and derived off the profound success of Descendants of Zombies. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having said that, because some of the most beautiful friendships between the cast, between you guys out there on YouTube land, I think so many beautiful friendships have been happening because of Descendants of Zombies because you share in the same passion. You know, you meet each other at school after you get off the bus, your first day of school, you say, hey, do you like Descendants of Zombies? Yeah, I like Descendants of Zombies in response, and you're friends for the rest of your life. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Because years ago, the only thing I had to bond over was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or the latest episode of Goosebumps. And that was not fun. But each and every one of you have something so special, something that's always and forever held a special place in your heart. So why should somebody in YouTube try to take that away from you? If you want to hear something nice about Descendants of Zombies, stay here. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I promise you I will always say something nice about Descendants of Zombies. I'm just like all of you. I'm counting the days to the premiere of Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. I'm excited to see how Leomani Segura is going to fare as Red Sister Pink, as one of the consequences of time travel. She's not the only consequence of time travel we're going to see. We're going to see many. But I'm excited to meet her. I'm excited to see what she's going to offer to the Descendants franchise, because she really does have a long way to go and a name to make for herself. And I have no doubt in my mind that she's going to do just that. And she's going to make everybody feel excited and so proud to be a part of Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland, because I really do know and really do believe that these two franchises are going to go down in history for being the most revered in Disney history. Because when have we ever seen a franchise be as successful as this, with the exception of Hannah Montana? I mean, those stars are 33, 34 years old. Miley Cyrus is going to be 33 years old in November. And do you think Miley Cyrus's show was as powerful as this? It might have been in that generation, but in this generation it wouldn't hold a candle to the success of Descendants and Zombies, because they're number one. In this generation, it's Descendants or Zombies or die. And anyone who's ever been a fan of Disney and Disney Channel should realize that this is where we're at. This is the point we're at. It's a pivotal point. It's really reached its peak of unprecedentedness, because we don't know what's going to happen in these franchises. Never before has Disney tried to expand a franchise as much as this. The closest resemblance I can give you is Bunk years ago, when they replaced the entire cast from Peyton List and Cameron Boyce all the way to what they eventually ended up with, and it went to 7 seasons. So Disney is trying to do their absolute best to make sure that the legacies of these franchises live forever and always and eternally in all of our hearts, while I try to look at the positive side of Descendants and Zombies, which has been deserved to be looked at for a very long time. Because you guys are looking up reviews that pretty much make no sense. I'm getting frustrated over it. You're getting upset over it. And we all are reaching a mutual agreement of how I think more great reviews of Descendants and Zombies should be posted on YouTube instead of these negative vibe reviews that leave people all upset. Because the thing about Descendants and Zombies fans are, they know what's up. They know everything there is to know about Descendants and Zombies. They know what's going on. So if you say anything wrong about Descendants and Zombies, they're going to correct you. They're going to let you know how they feel about it. And I don't see anything wrong with that. But I also know that Descendants and Zombies fans love you for creating Descendants and Zombies videos. They will hit your like button 1,000 times because they don't care. They will hit your subscribe button 1,000 times because they don't care and they just love you. They just love you for showing up. And they love you for showing that same respect that they have for Descendants and Zombies. You know, I could choose to come on here and I could criticize Descendants and Zombies, but I really don't see the point in doing that. Because I have that much respect for Kylie Cantrell and Meg Donnelly that I don't want to do that. If they do see these videos, I want them to know that I love them. And I want them to know that you love them, and you've loved them for forever, because you would give anything to be in the presence of Kylie Cantrell just to tell her how much of an inspiration she's been to you and how much you've taken away from her, because it's a lot. I don't think these critics on YouTube really appreciate Descendants and Zombies like all of us do. And I think we need to let them know that by hitting the subscribe button for this YouTube channel and joining me on this incredible journey that you girls have had me on for the last 10 years. It's been an incredible 10-year and anniversary that I will never ever forget for this YouTube channel, because last year I had 5 subscribers. I kid you not, 5 subscribers. Now I got like, I don't know, 3,000 subscribers, something like 50,000 views later on this week coming in. And I have each and every one of you to thank for that, because like I said, you know, I could be on this YouTube channel talking about Descendants and Zombies and getting no subscribers because someone else's YouTube channel is far more inferior than this one. But I don't think there is anybody else out there who brings it to life in the way that I do and can get away with bringing it to life in the way I do, because they don't know how to do that. They just know how to come on there, immediately jump into talking about Descendants and Zombies, and at the end of the video, if it's 7 to 12 minutes long, none of those 7 or 12 minutes long really made any sense, and you can't get it back. If you're going to create a video about Descendants and Zombies, it has to be lengthy, and it has to be something worth watching, and the content has to be appreciated. And the host of the show has to have an appreciation he or she does for their audience and understand what their audience wants to get the most out of. You know, sometimes I like to create funny videos, sometimes I like to create videos that are very serious and to the point, but I do it because I believe in these franchises so much, and I think you guys have deserved far better than what you've been hearing on YouTube, and I just wanted to give that to you. I really just wanted to give that to you in a way that no other YouTube creator out there goes above and beyond the requirements of his YouTube channel to do that for you. You know, I put $5,000 behind this YouTube channel, and I have no regrets. I haven't looked back since. And I look forward to being here Christmas time with you for the very first time ever, Halloween with you for the very first time ever, New Year's Eve for the very first time with you, because this is the way the YouTube channel works. There will always be a video uploaded on this YouTube channel for each and every one of you, and there are no breaks on this YouTube channel. Even if the video is pre-recorded, there will be no breaks on this YouTube channel, which means New Year's Eve there'll be a video here, Christmas Eve there'll be a video here, Christmas Day there'll be a video here, Halloween there'll be a video here. There are no breaks. We're going full throttle until this YouTube channel gets monetized. And we're going to talk about Descendants and Zombies in the way that it was meant to be talked about. I am going nowhere. I am going to be here for you forever and always to help you make sense of the franchises that you love so much when nobody else wants to go out of the way to do it for you. Because you've deserved that for a very long time. And I am just as big of a fan of Descendants and Zombies as each and every one of you are. And because of that, I will always and forever devote my lifetime to creating Descendants and Zombies videos, just as I have for Hannah Montana and Wizards years ago when I was a big fan of those shows and thought that those shows were going places. And they still are. I mean, Wizards Beyond Waverly Place, getting great reviews on Disney Channel. Miley Cyrus is considering a Hannah Montana reunion tour. More power to her. They're talking about Camp Rock 3 now. And it was teased after a Camp Rock reunion just days ago. And I'm really excited about that too, so I've got a lot to say where that goes. But I need you to subscribe. I need you to join me on this incredible journey, because without you, I don't know. This YouTube channel wouldn't be here. I know that much. But having said that, I want to say thank you so much for all the love and support you have shown this YouTube channel, and I can hope that each and every one of you are going to continue to show that same outpouring of love and support as we look ahead to Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland, and eventually Zombies 5 in summer 2026, and sometime for Zombies 5, whatever the title is, by the time we get to it in 2027. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support you have shown this YouTube channel. We will talk again tomorrow morning. But until then, I want you to always and never forget that the same stars and the same moon that you're looking at tonight is the same stars and moon that I'm looking at. And somewhere in those constellations out there tonight that you're looking at, the words I love you are written in them. Never ever give up and quit on your dreams and hopes, because your hopes and your dreams are all you're left with at the end of every day. After that sun sets, your hopes and your dreams are all you got. And I never ever want you to quit on believing in your hopes and dreams, because they are your best friend. Your heart is your best friend. It'll always show you the light of darkness. And all you've got to do is trust in that and believe in that. Because one day, you all will find your light. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for joining me and having made me your voice of Descendants and Zombies. I promise you, I will never let you down, nor will I ever go away, because as long as I got you guys, we are in this together, and there's no better way to go out than go out as a Descendants and Zombies fan. If I'm going out in a blaze of glory, and I have each and every one of you to thank for that, for having made me your hero and your voice of Descendants and Zombies. Keep on being kind to one another, because kindness really does go a long way in this world. We will talk again tomorrow. Until then, we will see you tomorrow morning.